Shaq and LeBron had the biggest altercation you've heard in the NBA recently, and it all went down in the back of Ball Arena, but the NBA is trying to hide it from the world. After the Lakers lost to the Nuggets on the 5th of March, Shaq absolutely lost his mind and cornered LeBron in the tunnel, and things escalated into a full-blown tussle. According to insiders on the Lakers team, it got so dangerous for LeBron that security and like 6 assistants had to physically tackle Shaq before he could do us all a favor and end LeBron's career right there. But don't worry, I'll be exposing it all today. So let us get into the details of what really happened. Look, we all saw that game against Denver on the 5th, and for those that didn't, you have definitely seen the highlights. But we need to talk about what actually happened, because the box score is a straight-up lie. LeBron's fans are gassing up the fact that he broke the all-time field goals record in the first quarter. And yeah, buckets is some good stuff, but nobody wants to talk about how he absolutely embarrassed himself and spat on all the work the Lakers legends did to get the team to where it is today. See, by the time the fourth quarter hit, the Lakers were down with minutes left. This was the moment where for players like Kobe, the Mamba mentality kicks in. The moment where a leader puts the team on his back and drags them to a win. But instead, we got the most embarrassing performance from LeBron yet. So get this, LeBron drove on Juric, scored the layup, and then immediately collapsed like he just hit a tripwire. With so much drama, you'd think his arm was hanging by a thread. He stayed down for an entire possession while the Lakers had to play 4-on-5 defense, basically handing the Nuggets a free transition bucket because he was too busy trying to sell a foul that never existed. And for those that don't know about the NBA memo on marginal contact, well, the league literally put out a notice saying they were done rewarding this kind of theatrics. The ref looked him dead in the face and told him, no foul, marginal contact. But wait, it gets even more embarrassing when you look at how he miraculously got healed in just minutes. LeBron limped to the back like his arm was about to fall off, but the second the Lakers managed to scrap their way back to a one-point game, he suddenly came sprinting back out of the tunnel. How do you go screaming like it was life or death to being game ready in seconds? But if you have been studying this dude, you know that this is his typical behavior. He bails whenever things get tough and has no ounce of loyalty in him. We all know how he jumped from team to team just to secure championships, so it's not even surprising that when he saw that the Lakers were losing, he suddenly had an injury. But immediately he saw there could be a chance to win, there he was, coming right back. But it's not just me talking about it now. The fans on social media have been having a blast with this. If you go back and watch the clip, it's the funniest thing you'll see all week. On the floor, he was clutching his left elbow like it was shattered, but by the time he was walking toward the tunnel, he was suddenly holding his right arm. He literally forgot which one he was supposed to be faking with. In fact, one guy on X said, it was in front of the camera. Of course he's going to play hurt. And another one straight up said, I guess peds amplify the pain by times. The fans aren't stupid. We've seen him do this for years. But this time it felt different because even the rest of the league has clearly stopped caring. Look at the Nuggets.
It's quiet, but this time it's Shaq basically sprinting to come give him the beating of his life. I'm telling you, the air in that hallway literally changed immediately. Shaq caught up with him. Before LeBron's PR team could even react, the big diesel was already in his chest. Shaq absolutely lost his mind and started laying into LeBron about how he's dragging the Lakers' name through the dirt and making arguably the most prestigious franchise in sports history look like a total circus act. Shaq didn't just bring up the Denver game. He brought up every banner, every drop of blood, and every sacrifice the legends before him made to build that legacy. Sources say he allegedly even called LeBron the architect of the soft era and accused him of turning the league into a soap opera where stars care more about longevity and image than winning. Shaq was furious, saying that while he played through injuries to win championships, LeBron was out here bailing on his team because of a minor issue. But what really set things off was when Shaq called him a coward for avoiding responsibility when the team struggles. Things got so heated that it almost turned physical. Shaq lunged forward, and for a moment it looked like things were about to get out of control before security stepped in and separated them. The last thing Shaq reportedly yelled was that if LeBron is too old for the game, he should retire or go play somewhere else. And to understand why this was so personal, you have to understand the difference between eras. Shaq comes from a time when the NBA was extremely physical. Players fought through contact, injuries, and pressure without excuses. Now compare that to today's game, where players often rely on whistles and avoid contact. That contrast is what fuels debates like this. The irony is that on the same night LeBron was being criticized, he also achieved a historic milestone. But for some critics, that only made things worse because they believe individual records don't matter if the team loses. And this leads to a bigger question. Is LeBron still helping the team win, or is he slowing them down? Some stats suggest the team performs differently depending on who is on the court. The offense looks faster with younger players, and defensively the team sometimes struggles with transition coverage. Even analysts have started to question the team's direction. Some believe the Lakers are transitioning toward a younger core led by Luka Doncic, while others think LeBron still has a major role to play. But what's clear is that the pressure is building, from fans, media, and even former players. Legends like Shaquille O'Neal and Kevin Garnett represent a different mindset, one that values toughness and accountability above everything else. And when those voices start getting louder, it signals a shift. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about one game, one argument, or one moment. It's about legacy. It's about how a player is remembered, and whether the next generation sees them as an inspiration or a cautionary tale. And let's not forget the locker room dynamics after that Denver disaster. The tension was so thick you could slice it with a knife. Players were whispering in corners, coaching staff pacing back and forth, and the front office basically holding emergency summits like it was a war council. LeBron thought he could walk in, play a few PR games, and everything would stay intact, but he couldn't have been more wrong. Shaq's intervention wasn't just a one-off, it was a statement. And the message was crystal clear. The era of protecting superstars at all costs is over. You see, the back-to-back incidents with LeBron over the years have built a pattern. It's almost a career-long art form at this point. When the team struggles, he mysteriously develops injuries. When the team has a chance to win, suddenly he's back, fully healed. And while his PR team spins the narrative of
he's too busy curating content, flexing highlights, and celebrating personal milestones. Meanwhile, the younger core, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and the like, are carrying the team quietly, executing high-speed offense and playing defense that actually disrupts opponents. It's a stark contrast to the theater of LeBron that fans and media have been conditioned to celebrate for decades. Now let's dive into the psychology behind Shaq's outburst. Shaq comes from a league that demanded blood, sweat, and respect. You didn't just take a night off because your elbow felt weird. You went out there, got hit, and kept pushing because your team and your pride depended on it. So when he sees LeBron flopping, strategically injured, and prioritizing personal milestones over team success, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Shaq isn't alone either. A wave of former legends from Kobe Bryant, R.I.P., to Kevin Garnett, Charles Barkley, and even Paul Pierce are all quietly or not so quietly frustrated. They've publicly and privately hinted that the NBA's culture has shifted in ways that reward spectacle over substance. And LeBron, whether intentionally or not, has become the poster child for this shift. Think about it. For decades, fans have debated the GOAT conversation, and one of the arguments has always been, can you perform under pressure? Can you lead when the stakes are highest? Can you sacrifice your body, pride, and comfort for the team? And while LeBron has achieved unparalleled longevity and amassed legendary stats, critics argue that the modern NBA protects him too much. Every minor contact is flagged, every injury is amplified, and the flail has become part of the game plan. Remember the March 2021 Lakers slump? LeBron mysteriously developed ankle issues right when the team was sliding toward the play-in tournament. Convenient, right? Then March 2022, same thing. Playoff race heats up, injuries appear. March 2023,
Foot injury sidelines him. And now, Denver 2026, elbow theatrics. Pattern recognition is real, and fans notice. Social media exploded after the Denver game, with clips showing him clutching his arm in the first quarter, only to be sprinting back in the last 2 minutes. The inconsistencies are impossible to ignore. But here's the kicker. The PR team spins all this as heroic perseverance. They frame it as LeBron doing what no one else can. Meanwhile, analysts crunch numbers quietly behind the scenes, revealing that when the team is without him, defensive efficiency skyrockets, offensive flow improves, and young players thrive. It's almost Kafkaesque. Fans are cheering the narrative while the data tells a completely different story. And then there's the cultural impact. The younger NBA stars aren't even pretending to idolize him anymore. Players like Cooper Flagg are openly modeling their game after legends like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. They're watching film from decades ago, studying clutch performance, mental toughness, and leadership. They aren't watching LeBron's theatrics. They're looking for the killer instinct, the hunger, the drive, and they're frustrated when the supposed face of the league doesn't embody it anymore. Even mid-tier players have started speaking out. They can publicly call him overrated, question his impact, or critique his leadership. And the shocking part? There's no fear of retaliation. This is a massive shift from the Michael Jordan or Larry Bird eras, where even hinting at disrespect could get you physically tested or verbally destroyed. LeBron's legacy at this point is in flux. The stats, the accolades, the records, they're there. But the intangibles, the leadership, the inspiration, the fear factor, those are eroding. When legends like Shaq, Garnett, and Pierce openly criticize him, it signals a generational divide. The league is moving forward, but LeBron is increasingly seen as a relic, a bridge between eras rather than the standard bearer. Now, let's zoom in on the Denver hallway incident again. Imagine the scene. Concrete walls, the smell of stale popcorn, the hum of distant air conditioning. LeBron, post-PR maneuver, sprinting back to appear heroic. Shaq, steaming with decades of pent-up frustration, closing in like a freight train. Security struggling to maintain control. This isn't just drama, it's symbolism. It's the old guard confronting the modern star, demanding accountability, reminding him that championships, respect, and legacy can't be faked. And it doesn't stop at physical confrontations.
The question remains, can he adapt to this shifting landscape? Can he reconcile personal milestones with team success? Or will the cumulative pressure, the scrutiny from legends, and the growing statistical evidence of his team's performance without him define the final chapter of his career? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. The Denver incident, the hallway confrontation, the mixed signals of his performance, and the critical voices of legends and younger players alike have all combined to create a turning point. LeBron's legacy is no longer just a matter of numbers. It's a cultural and psychological case study in the evolution of professional basketball, media influence, and leadership. And for the fans watching this unfold, it's fascinating, infuriating, and impossible to ignore. Because every dunk, every flop, every sprint back into a game, and every critique from legends tells a story not just about a player, but about the NBA itself. A league constantly balancing tradition, innovation, celebrity, and competition. The aftermath of the Denver incident sent ripples far beyond Ball Arena. The locker room wasn't just tense, it was practically combustible. Imagine this. Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and the rest of the young core huddled together, trying to strategize while their supposed leader was busy navigating PR and personal milestones. Conversations were hushed, eyes darting toward LeBron, who at that moment seemed more like a celebrity guest than the captain of the ship. The irony?
These are players who actually wanted to win, who were willing to put their bodies on the line, while LeBron had perfected the art of selective engagement. Front office sources confirmed that emergency meetings became a routine in the 48 hours following the Denver collapse. It wasn't about injuries or next game strategy. It was about evaluating trust, leadership, and accountability. Some high-ranking Lakers legends were reportedly blunt. If LeBron wants to chase stats while the team tanks, maybe it's time to separate the two. Byron Scott even went public with a cryptic comment, which insiders interpreted as a soft warning. It's time to move on, one way or another. Meanwhile, social media was erupting. Clips of the hallway confrontation went viral, showing Shaq lunging at LeBron while security struggled to intervene. Fans debated endlessly. Was this a moment of righteous anger from a legend defending the game's integrity, or just another PR stunt amplified by cameras? But the message was clear. Shaq and the old guard were done playing nice. You could feel it in every word he yelled, every glare he threw. Coward, soft era, retire overseas. These weren't just insults, they were indictments. And it's not just the older legends noticing the pattern. Younger players who grew up idolizing LeBron are slowly recalibrating their respect. Take Cooper Flagg, for instance. The kid openly models his game after MJ and Kobe, prioritizing competitiveness, clutch mentality, and leadership. The LeBron era, with all its highlights and longevity, simply doesn't resonate with them the same way. Even mid-tier players are calling him overrated in interviews, questioning his leadership openly, and citing examples from recent seasons where his team performed better without him on the floor. The statistics back this up. Without LeBron, the Lakers' defensive rating is consistently stronger. Net ratings shift significantly in favor of the young core when he's off the court. Transition points allowed, fast break scoring, and team efficiency all improve. And yet the mainstream narrative continues to highlight personal milestones, breaking Kareem's field goal record, hitting new scoring thresholds, while the team struggles collectively. The discrepancy between perception and reality has never been starker. LeBron's injury theatrics aren't just a performance, they're a symptom of a larger cultural shift in the NBA. The modern game rewards preservation, analytics, and strategic avoidance. The old league, the Shaq era, was brutal, physical, and unforgiving. Players were expected to take hits, play through pain, and lead by example. Shaq's outrage isn't just about one hallway confrontation, it's about a systemic.
But with every calculated exit, every flopped injury, and every strategic return, cracks in his legacy deepen. The Denver incident was just the latest example, but it's symptomatic of a much larger issue. The NBA has evolved, and LeBron's persona, once revered, is increasingly viewed as a bridge between eras rather than a standard-bearer. The tension extends beyond the arena. Fans debate endlessly online. Analysts dissect every clip, every play, every press conference. Memes and viral videos immortalize the inconsistencies, the elbow clutch, the sudden sprint back, the awkward warm-ups. Even casual observers who aren't hardcore analytics fans notice that something is off. And inside the Lakers organization, whispers about contract reconsiderations, leadership evaluations, and the team's long-term direction grow louder by the day. LeBron's influence is being measured in optics rather than respect. His achievements, while monumental, are increasingly overshadowed by perceptions of selective engagement. Legends like Shaq and Garnett openly criticize his leadership. Younger players model themselves after other icons, and even mid-tier players feel empowered to question his impact. This generational and cultural divide has created an environment where LeBron's authority is no longer uncontested. And yet, he continues the cycle. He plays for personal milestones, media narratives, and individual recognition, while the team's cohesion, defensive efficiency, and collective performance fluctuate. The irony is brutal.
The very metrics that define success in the modern NBA, efficiency, pace, defensive rating, often highlight the team's better performance without him. The man celebrated as a leader is increasingly measured by what he avoids rather than what he achieves for his team. The cultural implications extend further. The NBA's younger stars, who grew up idolizing LeBron, are now critically evaluating his legacy in real time. They want inspiration, grit, and sacrifice, not highlight reels and personal milestones. They see the flaws, the theatrics, and the inconsistencies, and they are internalizing a new standard for leadership, one based on accountability, resilience, and team-first mentality. Meanwhile, the league itself is at a crossroads. The emphasis on load management, perimeter offense, and player preservation has created a delicate balance between spectacle and substance. LeBron is both a product and a symbol of this era, highlighting its benefits and shortcomings. And Shaq's confrontation serves as a stark reminder that the old guard, players who bled for championships, endured punishment, and led by example, still values toughness, accountability, and loyalty above all else. LeBron's career, marked by longevity, records, and media mastery, is increasingly evaluated through the lens of team impact, leadership authenticity, and cultural relevance. The debate isn't just about stats, it's about what it means to truly lead, inspire, and leave a lasting legacy in the NBA. As the Lakers move forward, these dynamics will play a crucial role in shaping not only LeBron's legacy, but also the trajectory of the team and the league. Will the front office make the difficult decisions necessary to prioritize team cohesion over superstar optics? Will younger players seize the opportunity to redefine leadership and performance standards? And will LeBron adapt to these shifting expectations, or will his reliance on theatrics and personal milestones further alienate him from the next generation of NBA stars? The Denver incident, the hallway confrontation, and the ongoing social media storm are more than just entertainment. They are a case study in leadership, accountability, and cultural evolution in professional sports. LeBron's legacy, once defined by dominance and longevity, is now being scrutinized through the lens of modern analytics, team dynamics, and generational expectations. The story is still unfolding, and the consequences of this incident may echo far beyond a single game or a single season.